Hi guys, I'm Lady Lily. I'm testing how this is going to work. I'm going to attempt to stream our game tonight to create characters and hopefully go through the first part of the Doomsday Dawn module that came with the second edition Pathfinder playtest. I've never really done streaming from my computer. It's always been from a PlayStation, and I've never been in front of a camera. We're not really going to be in front of the camera. You're going to hear it. I've got our group on the way. I'm just trying to do some tests right now. Figure out how I'm going to do the placing and everything. I'm not actually the GM for this. I'm a player. My husband is going to be the GM. It's going to be great. We're learning new things. We've gone through we've read things. We've made the characters. We've been playing first edition Pathfinder for a while. With this group that we've been with for over a year now. If I can get this camera to sit still for a second. Not wanting to sit still. Let me see if I can put it on. There we go. Sorry for any of the terrible sounds. We're in the living room, and I have one microphone, and that's attached to the camera. It's not the greatest camera, but like I said, you won't really be looking at us once I start this. Like I said, I've never done it from my computer, so I'm trying to figure out how everything is going to work and get the links for it. I have no idea what this. That definitely muted it. Okay, so at least I can mute it, and you can be staring at a screen for a little while we wait on them. I know the light is really bright. I don't have the right lights. Let's see. If the stream ends, oh well, I'm gonna see what this button does, because it doesn't tell me. I scroll over the button and it doesn't tell me what the button does. It's just there's a button. Oh hey, that's what I needed. Good. Alright, so copy that. And then I can go post a stream, because hopefully there's to be 2 people at least from the Critical Role fan club page that might end up watching this. So let me just tag them and stuff. Let's see. What's her name? All right. I probably should mute the mic while I'm typing. Probably doesn't sound very good. Sound isn't absolute trash. Video is imitation potato quality. Yeah, thank you. Thank you for telling me that. I figured it wouldn't be great because it's an old ass Logitech camera. So there's that. Just curious, since you're watching that for me, I'm going to select some sounds from this Sirenscape thing and see how it works. I don't know how to do this. Wow, that's really cool. So that was an ice spell from Sirenscape. How was the sound? Didn't sound much. So okay, since it did come from the computer, I wonder how it's gonna sound when I have it over on the area map. Let me move the camera, and yes, 99 by the way. That's great. Yeah. get this moved over to where we're going. You can see my messy house and my hand. All right. To the map. This is where we're generally going to be playing. Don't want to force our players into a camera if they don't want to be in a camera. Let's see. I'm not entirely sure all of what it's picking up here. There's the circular room, there's that. So it's getting from here-ish to back here. That's as low as the camera goes on that angle. You're telling me something. I really need to get What would that do? Piece of plexiglass. I guess to hold the map down. Yeah, back up. That's, I guess, the best angle that I'm going to get it at. And tomorrow, yeah, but I don't know where we would get plexiglass. So with the camera there, that's about the best angle we're going to get. How's the sound? I'm sitting in the GM chair. I'm just going to talk like I'm the GM. I'm not the GM. I can't even GM. Well, okay, there's a possibility I could. All right, let me go move to injure suit. But I maybe could GM one day. I've tried. So now I'm sitting in Andrew's seat. And we'll see. Maybe after the playtest, maybe I'll try to do a one-shot or something. I don't know. We're going to hopefully, maybe, if this works out and everything, continue to stream our games. Wish I had a better camera. Wish I had a better setup, but I don't. Okay, you probably answered by now, so let me go back over here and check. A 3 to 5 second lag. Sound is good overall. Cool. That should be the biggest issue, is over there, because that's the furthest away from the camera. You got me over here and Christine's right in front of it, so well, we'll definitely try this out, see how it works. I don't wish we had cameras for like everybody, because I don't want to always be on camera. I'm not, pretty like those people on that one beautiful show that I'm wearing the shirt for. But I wouldn't mind streaming it. It sounds like it could be fun. Would like to have a better dedicated area, which we might eventually. But who knows? Alright, that's all figured out. I'm going to go ahead and mute the mic for just a little bit while we wait on them to get here. So, oh, hi Samantha. Thank you for for tuning in. Like I had said, we were waiting in. I was doing some testing for the our other players before our other players got here testing, because I've never streamed on my computer. I wonder if there's like ways that you can. I'm sure there's ways to do it, just to be able to, like, because I have a camera on my computer too, to switch it from the camera out there to what's on the computer, like midstream. But I don't know if there's ways to do that, or if it would have to be recorded and then edited and put in there. I don't know. I don't know this YouTube stuff. I'm used to just streaming on my computer. Oh, here's a good question. How bad is this gonna sound? This was a dice roll of his massive metal dice. Hopefully that doesn't sound too bad, because the mic is the camera is on his table, so it might shake like that if we. Oh, but that's not good. Oh well. Why is Scalen's dice all the way over there in the corner? Loud but not here. Okay, good. Again, why is Scalen's dice and a percentile in the corner of your GM screen? The perks of, sitting behind the GM's desk for now. Let's see. I guess I will go ahead and share this in the Arkansas Critical Role. Arkansas Criticers. Oh, let's see.
There's a door closer here. I'm pretty sure.
Hey! Yay! They're here.
They're here.
Yeah, I could be like me after a while and just have the mic off, but I'm not, so Alright, posting up there. Maybe, I'm not a part of like a Pathfinder thing to tell them, hey, I'm streaming, but hey, they just knocked.
Yes, give me just a moment.
Let's let our party in.
Hello.
Hi, guys. I got the stream set up.
Yes. Cool.
We've been toying with it and checking sound, and so it's already live and everything.
Sure. Can I have my seat? Or are you gonna sit there today?
No kitty.
I think you can get that.
He wants to play too. He's like, why you do this?
Let's go for a ride. There you go. Alright, so hopefully this all works and sound and stuff.
Yes, I got holders.
Cool.
Oh, sweet.
I was looking at the downloadable thing during my lunch, and I kind of have figured out what I want to do.
Cool. A year later, and I get organized.
But yes, the other voices you have, Christine and Andrew.
Hello,
I'm a voice.
man.
It's just a voice.
I'm not high on any allergy pills to come up with an accent for my character this time, so
Okay.
that's all right.
That's fine.
You don't even know what you're gonna be yet.
I mean, I kind of do. Kind of, sort of. I was thinking about it in my head.
This is
I
all.
skinned some today.
Technically, I should have had you print out a second blank character sheet for me.
You want me to go print one out? real
Yeah,
quick?
if you don't mind. Because this may or may not, be the character I play depending on everybody
By
else's
the
stuff.
way, hi guys, I'm the GM.
Yes, that is the gene.
I'm going to go print out an extra character sheet.
Make sure my media sound's off and so I can watch the live chat and everything on my phone. In case anybody says anything, because Samantha said that we sound just fine. Because I posted it on there that we were streaming it.
Hello. We're just gonna wing it. Oh no, Sleepy Me wanted to stream for something.
I mean, yeah, that's what we're doing. We are winging it. I have the one character I created up still, but we'll see if that's what we go with or if I make something all new. So something while he's printing the character sheets, something interesting about Pathfinder 2nd edition is the character sheets are landscape. So it's about 3 to 5 seconds behind, so they look like this. And this is your first one. It's got your character sheet, all your stats and everything on it, like the first page of any tabletop game generally does. So we'll go through and write down everything that we need and
Walk through.
do an extensive walkthrough, building the characters. And this one that I had doesn't even have a name, so
Sweet. Mine doesn't either.
yeah,
But
that's
we're starting fresh, folks.
exactly.
Funky fresh
Yes. Funky fresh to death.
with
Whatever.
the funky fresh beats.
You already know what you're gonna be.
Yeah.
You said a
Dwarf druid.
Okay, so I definitely need to come up with a different character. I was a halfling druid that I created.
What type of druid?
Yeah, hold
though?
on, wait a minute.
Druid. What is it? What was it? What was she? She is the animal companion, but she has the pact of the animal, whatever it is.
See, we're two different types of druids then.
But I'm also taking wild shape.
See, we're both different, still different types of druids.
Well, yeah, that's something that they point out in this.
See, I mean, so I don't know that.
I don't necessarily have to, but I like to do balancing things. Paper?
It is printing.
Okay.
Welcome back out here.
He already knows what he wants to be.
What you doing?
A dwarf druid.
Hold on, I'm gonna tell you momentarily. Just a second. I have to have everything written down to have it structured in my head. But it's gonna be bullet point. It'll be momentary. Hold on.
No. It's and you do it by ABCs. So you do one at a time.
Oh shit! So it's like 5. Right on.
So that's why it's always great to start with a blank piece of paper and figure out what you want it to be, and then go do your attributes, one at a time. I'm interested to see how building a Pathfinder character differs from the D&D process. And that's a lot of boxes. Yes, there are a lot of boxes on the paper. It's you've got
Differs from
there's some D&D process.
yes.
There's a lot of boxes. You've got all of your saving throws and your knowledges. Your weapons are on this same page. Your AC.
There's
There's like one for me.
your sheet.
And also, it's kind of important question to know which version of D&D specifically, because this, to me, is
Is like fourth edition?
is reminiscent almost to the T to 4th edition right now, with the way it's set up.
She's playing 5th edition. She says
5th edition.
Mhm.
So, yeah, I don't really know well enough just yet because we are going to diverge. But from what I can tell, at least from what I've seen so far in 5e, the little bit that I've played, it's similar in that, you know.
But she meant building a character.
just
Specifically building a character.
specifically
she had
building
said.
the character like
She hasn't
mechanics.
played any other edition. It said, "I'm interested to see how building a Pathfinder character differs from the D&D." Now, granted, this is the 2nd edition. You know, the playtest building of the character. 1st edition is totally different. It's a lot more sit down, think what you want to do,
There's
and
a lot more room for creativity.
yeah, there's a lot more room for.
Not to say that you couldn't get creative with a 5e character, but it's streamlined just so it could probably introduce more, I guess, newer RPers into
Yeah.
the fold. It makes it
And
a lot
another thing
easier for
different with
everyone.
this is that there is still a lot. That's something that they have still incorporated into 2nd edition from 1st edition Pathfinder. Is there's still a lot of creativity and customization, and even more so in a way from other aspects of the 1st edition. It's just, it takes a minute to step back and notice that just because it's different isn't worse.
Yeah, as I'm actually going through and reading a little bit more as to, holy crap, it's still pretty darn detailed in here, man.
Yeah. So, do you need some paper, Andrew?
Mm-mm.
Okay. So,
Oh, you got it all down.
by the way, when making characters, which I see you're already a decent way through, ABC. So you choose your ancestry. You'll go through the initial abilities it gives you, and it'll tell you what boost you get.
So we're gonna go through that individually. We're gonna do that right now, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Then you'll do your background and your class.
But- Okay. So are you gonna open the book and? I meant like verbally do that, not quietly.
Yes.
Okay. I'm just curious because I haven't started doing any of that yet. I was waiting.
Like the most I've done with him so far, like while I was at work, is I chose his ancestry, his background, his class, his alignment, his deity, his age, his gender, and then I kind of just looked at the ancestral feats and the there was the other feats that I was looking at, that the druid feats that I was looking at, and those just kind of looked at the ones that I was most interested in, but I haven't done anything beyond that as far as getting abilities and work scores and everything down.
My background has to come from Doomsday Dawn.
Yes.
Oh, it has to come from the Doomsday Dawn, not from the.
Yeah. For the party that we're building right now for this first scenario, has to come from these 6 backgrounds right here.
Do you
Oh,
want
wow.
Yes. So a little sidebar. Each time we build a party, because we're building a party for this first scenario, we'll use this party another 2 times going through the book. The other
3, I think.
4, I believe. Yeah, the other 4 scenarios will use different parties, and each one will have its own build restrictions and guidelines that I'll give you guys.
I gotcha.
Yeah, but
Cool.
more or less for this first one,
Now, how much, before I commit to this druid that I had built, how much is it going to be, this party going to be dealing with the Assyrian stuff?
a decent amount. Technically, a large amount.
But it's just not
Later
going to be
on.
going through the desert and actually going there.
I mean, you don't know that.
Well, because
That would be metagaming.
well, the character I want to build to do that, I just don't know if it's this character.
Okay, so as far as, let me finish this part, because as far as build guidelines, more or less, build your characters at first level, build whatever you feel is a balanced party. Doesn't have to be balanced. And your backgrounds have to come out of this book, and you'll be using these guys 2 more times.
2 more times.
Yes.
That's half the fun. Don't know what to expect, but build a character anyway.
I will say that you will be using them. Let me make sure. You'll use them in the last segment of the book.
Okay. Where's my the other one I built?
And then so you're using the first level one, the 9th level one, and the final one, which is at 17th level.
Sweet. Oh no, where's my, this one's the one that you built.
Yes.
Where's my, I guess I didn't make a sheet. Okay. Because my other thought, my other character that I was thinking about making was the Goblin Bard.
Okay. I mean, technically that could be a good character. And that could fit inside this party. As far as Assyrianology and lore and esoteric lore and whatnot, you'll be dealing with that multiple times with different parties. This is the party that you'll be using the most.
I guess I'll.
I won't lay out the adventure for you, but take that for what you will, however you want to build.
Okay, so. So you're going to be.
So what's a lore skill on there?
Huh?
Like, as I notice, all the backgrounds have some kind of lore
Yeah.
skill.
So all the backgrounds give you training in a lore and a extra feat. Lore replaces
Knowledge.
a lot of knowledge, not all knowledge. There are 4 knowledges which cover your 4 magical backgrounds: arcane, occultism, nature, and religion. Other than that, everything else is lore, and lores aren't super defined. So, like, you can have bartending lore.
Can I borrow the book since you have the computer? Just the core rule book.
So
Yeah.
this thing says I would get Dominion of the Black lore skill.
Yes. And more or less, whenever anything comes up that you would like be making checks to,
Like a
No.
knowledge check.
yeah, like a knowledge check about that subject, then you'll be able to do that.
Okay. That seems cool. Then I'm gonna go with that mind quake thing.
I'm also trying to get the bestiary out
Okay.
because I don't have it on my side.
Your phone is ringing.
Do you know that phone number?
No, I do not.
Is that Families Inc. calling you?
Sure.
Okay. Excuse me.
Let's see.
Trying to find where your stuff is too, though.
It's. Do you not have it in your drive?
No.
I don't know if I have it on my computer.
I thought you downloaded it the day of, yes.
Oh yeah, it is. It's in the Pathfinder stuff.
Yeah.
Right, because that's how I uploaded it. So
So first and foremost, since we've already done this, is Ancestry.
Yes.
So you're playing a dwarf.
I'm a dwarf.
Victoria, do you know what you're doing?
Goblin Bard.
You're doing your goblin bard? Okay, so you're going to be a goblin. Here.
Like I was saying earlier to people on the internets and the interwebs, the best thing to do is to start out on a blank piece of paper and then copy your stuff over after you've chosen all of your ABCs and everything. That way you're not erasing and adding and erasing and adding, erasing and adding.
Christine, do you know what
Halfway.
you're into a halfling?
Yes.
So character generation in this system is, I like it a lot because you'll start with all of your attributes at 10 and then more or less on your scratch paper you just notate all your stat boosts wherever they go, or stat flaws with a plus or minus. And then at the end, when you're done generating your attribute scores, each boost is worth +2, each flaw is worth -2. Just add them up, and you've got your scores.
So like with my goblin, on it says ability boosts. I get a boost to dexterity, charisma, and then a free boost. This is on Ancestry, so ability.
So here's a question.
Yes.
So I get a free boost with being a dwarf.
Mhm.
Can I boost charisma to counteract the flaw?
No. If you get a free boost from your background, you could counteract the flaw from being a dwarf. But you can't use the free boost from being a dwarf to counteract the flaw from being a dwarf.
Okay.
You can counteract something in a different section, just not in the
So
same
the
one.
boost I get from the Mind Quake, which gives me a free boost, I could use that to counteract the
more or
flaw.
less in any set of boosts. You can't have more than one boost or flaw in any one. So
Right.
if you take like a boost in intelligence,
I can only do that once.
yeah, you can't also put your free boost in intelligence.
But you can boost things multiple times, just in different columns.
Okay.
That's how I write it out. This one's actually already written out. If you want to.
But so
The F is free because you also get for free after you've done your ancestry, your background, and your class.
Yeah.
Right.
you'll get 4 free boosts that you can assign to anything.
And then I get a free boost, and which I put in con, and then a negative in wisdom. So you get your boost down and flaw from your background or your ancestry. Different names. They're confusing. Christine?
Yes.
Oh, did you see how I wrote it in?
Ooh, wait. Yeah, I need to do that. Strength.
It just seemed the most, which I'll show the camera if it works right.
It's
So
not really
your
focusing.
Yes.
It doesn't even show it on my. There we
It
go.
is like arcane maths.
so your
Arcana.
ancestry and your background are what gives you your boosts, right?
Your class also gives you one. Your class, it'll give you a signature or a key ability.
Yeah.
You get a boost to your key ability.
Okay, well, let me explain that arcane maths that was just there. I write down all of the stats: strength, dex, con, intelligence, wisdom, and charisma. And then on the top, I write A, B, C, and F: ancestry, background, class, and then your free abilities. And then I create a chart and only mark in those columns what ones I'm doing for that part of the ABCs. ABC. The ABC.
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 But so
No, it's
like once you go to do your class, in the second page where it actually starts telling you about the druid, there's a side column,
That says key ability.
key abilities.
So that's going to
wisdom.
add me another +2, right?
Yeah, that'll give you another boost to wisdom. And then it also gives you your starting hit points. You also get hit points from
From being a dwarf.
ancestry.
So that would be the 10 base, and then my hit points would be in addition to that.
Yeah.
Okay.
So 8 plus your constitution modifier, and then your 10 base from being a dwarf. And that's your starting hit.
so after we write down our ability boosts from our race,
Mm-hmm. After you do your ancestry, you find your background,
which is in the book,
yes, it is in the book. It is
which the background,
actually page 3.
which the background I took is called what?
You were taking budding Assyrianologist?
Yeah.
Okay.
Budding. No.
What's up?
Where do you find all this stuff?
What are you looking for specifically?
Like literally everything. It's probably just
Well,
me being.
Well, right now we're
silly.
just doing
Yeah, we're
the ABC thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm trying
Start
to
off
do.
with your ancestry.
literally just
Which is
go
your-
to the halfling page,
Mhm.
which
Okay, there's half one.
just write down your ability boost and flaws.
Yeah.
That's it.
Okay.
Start off with that.
It's a lot simpler if you go step by step.
The feats was just product of me just being bored at work and just kind of browsing.
Yes.
You don't need to
Okay.
worry about the feats right now. I mean, I wrote my feats all the way up to level 20. You definitely don't need to do that.
Jesus Lord, I haven't done that for a character yet.
Yeah, we were supposed to do that in the past 2 weeks, and we never did.
Yeah, I just kind of jotted down up to level 20 what I wanted from
See,
feats.
you and
Just-
him can do the same thing of seeing a path and following it. I can't.
Okay.
Yeah,
no.
So for budding Assyrianologist, though,
Did you see what you're looking for yet?
you get
I
2
guess
ability
background,
boosts.
but where the heck do you get all?
Uh,
You don't need to worry
numbers
about
for the stat?
one.
I guess not.
Okay, here.
I don't know
One
what
has to
write.
be to dexterity or intelligence.
You're not doing these backgrounds. You're doing the backgrounds from
Oh.
the storm, from the
Yeah, from the book.
from the
Yes.
book.
Where did you get the
One is
book?
to dexterity or
Did you
intelligence.
download
download the
it.
full, or did you just download the rule?
La 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 la.
You didn't download
Shit.
all.
Shit.
We can say shit.
But what hell?
I
You
mean,
know.
technically, with
Okay, so
streaming
as
YouTube,
far as this goes,
whatever.
you're gonna get your.
No, like
You're gonna get
my
your. Are
YouTube.
you listening?
I
You're gonna get your
cuss the
boosts
fuck
from
out
your
on
half
my
month
games.
first. So you're gonna
Yeah.
get your
I'm
boost. You got that.
Write all that down.
The other one is
Did you get your boosts from your class?
No.
Well, all right. So
You
you do your
haven't been there
background
yet.
first.
Yeah, I'm not there
Here.
yet. Technically.
Yeah.
And then,
I've got the
I'm the one step by step here.
Mm-hmm.
here. Hold
which
on a
is very
second.
good
So
because that helps us explain
yes.
Doomsday.
Okay.
Yeah.
to people in the interwebs.
Yes.
So
Here.
interwebs, to clarify what I am doing because it sounds like a crazy mess.
Because you're going
Um,
crazy.
I've been up since 4:30 this morning. I have the right.
Since 7:30 this morning.
So this is the book that
And I
will
went to bed
have
at
the character
2:30
backgrounds
last
for
night.
this specific quest.
Okay.
So you'll have that one: Esoteric Scion, Family Friend, Goblin Renegade, Mindquake Survivor, and Pathfinder Hopeful.
Quick.
That's the one I chose is Mindquake Survivor.
That sounds interesting.
I had a
That's not
feeling
his.
that's what you would
That's
choose.
his.
Huh.
That's
What are
his
you
one.
talking
No, that's her
about? No,
phone.
that's mine.
Oh, what are you doing?
I'm showing people. So,
Oh, I was gonna say it doesn't focus well.
Not very well.
Oh.
It is a bright white
Screen.
rectangle
Is it a bright
of
white?
light.
oh, okay. Well, I chose a half one. And my background. And my. I started reading this. Well, not this, because I was reading
Yeah,
the
you did
wrong
download that
thing.
book.
But yeah, all you need to read from this book is the
Yeah. All the theories you need from Doomsday Dawn is the backgrounds. Anything
Yeah.
else is gravy, and you should not read it because it is for
Yes.
me.
Yes.
The rest of the children. Which, by the way, as a side note, while you're doing this, in your little folders, there is a sheet. It looks much like this one, but not exactly like this one because it's the one for GMing. It is a little tracking sheet. Basically, it has little boxes and questions for you to keep track of certain things. And then you can use that. Basically, you can basically just keep in mind any of the questions that are on there. The box is for each column is for each part of the adventure. Right now, part 1, and then use this just to kind of keep track of some key things.
I'm sure we'll find out what resonance points are soon.
Yes.
Okay.
And then at the end, just make sure to sort of notate all the stuff that it asks, and then afterwards you can go to the Playtest webpage, and they've got a survey up.
They've got a survey for each section and then
Yeah.
a survey at the end.
Yep. Just take the player survey, answer the questions as best you can, and
So
let's try to make this
something
the best they can.
I know your answer to it, but to kind of put it out on the internet of with the background budding Assyrianologist,
Mhm.
and how in the
Got
book
it.
in certain places it says
What did you take?
suggesting to
Hold on.
have the ability to speak or read ancient Assyrian
Yeah,
language.
that's in a later.
Later,
adventure.
yes, but you were saying that you would allow those taking the background budding Assyrianologists to, if they have the intelligence to take it, to take
Yeah, if you
ancient.
got the intelligence for extra languages or get extra languages for some other reason, then yes, it'll be amongst the languages you could do. If you got another reason to do so, then I would consider it, because it, as far as I know, it's not in the human dialects in the book.
No, it's not in any
But-
dialects in the.
I would consider it a rare dialect.
Mhm.
So very few people speak it, and it would take special circumstances to learn.
Just sort of a homebrew thing that you're adding into it because it.
It's not homebrew. It's GM rolling.
Okay,
What it is.
GM rolling. I call anything that's GM rolling that's not specifically laid out in the books homebrew. That's just me personally.
And we're allowed to just choose a deity from the rule book, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
I never even thought about deities or anything like that.
You don't have to have one.
So
Unless your class says you have to have one.
I don't have to, but it just makes me feel better. No.
So which one? What did you choose?
Caden Callian.
Interesting choice for a druid.
mhm.
Caden. Well, that's from his dwarven ancestry.
Yeah, I could see that because the dwarves get along well with him, and it said that Torag, the god of the dwarves, often parties with
Caden.
Caden.
Okay, so you got your ability boost and flaws from your race.
Yes.
Okay, now it's your background.
Yep.
So did you choose your background?
Yes. I am a Pathfinder hopeful.
Okay, so for Pathfinder Hopeful, you get 2 ability boosts. One has to be strength or intelligence.
Yes. Wait, no. That's my ability flaw.
You can do that
I still can do that.
Yes.
because it's
It's
not
like I
it's
said,
not your ancestry.
It's in the
gotcha.
column. So how I have a negative here,
You can
in
have
my
a
free
positive.
ones,
in
I put a
another one.
positive over here to counteract
As
it.
long as it's not within the same thing. So your free boost from being a halfling, you couldn't counteract your strength flaw.
Okay, I got you.
But you can do that with your
So,
background.
And it's one of either
Yeah.
strength or what?
Strength or intelligence. So you're counteracting your strength flaw with that one, and then you get one free one that you can put anywhere.
I will do that momentarily. As I'm still trying to figure out.
What are you trying to figure out?
What class I want to be.
Oh,
I'm
okay.
torn between barbarian and ranger.
Interesting. A halfling barbarian.
Yeah,
I know, right?
that'd be cool.
I know, right? I think I'm.
I mean, you'll have, because at this point, I'm going to be a bard, a lore bard, and he's going to be a druid. I don't know.
Of the storm.
Storm druid.
Cool.
Throwing elemental magic at people.
So that would be helpful to have an upfront personal.
Yeah.
Little midget hitting him with a hammer or sword.
I mean, we're all going to be short. You realize that, right?
That's funny though. That's like
Because
this is
I'm a goblin, you're a dwarf, and you're going to be a halfling.
party of midgets.
Buff stuff. Fucking buff stuff.
Oh.
All right. So, are you choosing barbarian?
Okay.
So
Wow.
with barbarian, your key ability score will be strength. So you add a bonus to your strength.
This is gonna be interesting.
It is.
It's going to be
For my class, I get charisma as my key ability.
Oh my
I always, this is hilarious because the way I write down everything, I do.
What?
Go ahead.
Oh,
Every boost is plus 2.
Every
Yeah.
boost is plus 2. Okay.
Yeah, so that's why I'm just adding X's.
Oh, yeah, I was just saying that's why whenever we do it, we just notate pluses and minuses
Okay.
because each one is an interval of 2.
Yeah, it's just to make your score go up.
It starts at a base of 10, right?
Yeah, and
it's a
so-
base of 10.
That way there's no odds because odds serve no purpose. And
That and you'll notice that on the character sheet, the modifier is presented much larger and more prominently than it is on the previous character sheet, because for several generations now, D20 engines such as Pathfinder use the modifier and
not the score.
not the score, for the most part.
But so it's been this way. I've written this down 3 times, 3 different characters, the same character but copying page. The first column and the second column I do pluses. The third column and the fourth column, I end up doing X's. I don't know why.
But also, you generating in this fashion, you shouldn't. But if you happen to run into this, none of your ability scores can go above 18 in character creation.
There, 1, 2, 3, 4. There shouldn't be a way to do that.
Generating this way, there shouldn't be a way to do that. But it's also...
If somehow you figure it out how to do it, you can't.
Yeah, that and...
It's 2,
Or
4,
if
6,
you use
8,
the
plus
rolling
10.
method.
Yeah, rolling method would be how you... Because doing it this way, without putting more than one in the same spot, in the same column, there's only 4 columns.
Mhm.
So you can only get up to 18
Yeah.
that way. There is a way to roll if you don't like doing it this way. They do have that lined out.
Yep.
But,
It is in the character creation section of the book.
alright, so I got my class. Have you written down your class points?
Yes.
Your bonuses?
Yes.
Now we get to the free part.
Yeah, and then you get your free bonuses. You get 4 of them.
To put in any
Yes.
place that you need to.
Those will basically just fill out your ability scores. And once you've assigned all of those, you can finalize your ability scores.
And again, you can't take the same thing twice, even on this one, right?
Same column.
Right.
Thing, yeah.
Yeah. So if you take one of your free as intelligence, you can't take another intelligence with that.
And something
Let's
to
do the
note,
4
an
different
interesting, not the we need it right now, but while assigning scores, if you want to take extra languages, how in the first edition, if you had a modifier over 10, so or a modifier of 1 or more, you could take 1 extra language, 2 extra languages. In this one, it's over 2. It's 2 or more.
Mhm.
Your modifier has to be a +2.
Yeah.
Which it shouldn't generally play into any of this so much. I only bring that up because I had to put extra bonuses into my intelligence to make sure that I was able to take Ancient Assyrian.
You're a very intelligent goblin.
That's why I'm not with the Goblin tribes. No, that's not. This is the one. That's it. This is the voice. What? What is wrong?
Nothing.
This is the voice that my goblin's going to have. I just have to remember it. Use Stitch voice.
That's the choice.
I gotta figure out. I don't want to sound too much like Bo. Although I have a feeling that that's just naturally how that's gonna come out.
Hey,
I mean,
I'm just gonna
Even
wing it
L.
again.
even Elle's kind of like, yeah, or she's really scared. She's,
Just one
I want
extremely.
to hit something. We need to hit something. Oh my god, I don't want to go in there. Our
Okay.
great party.
So
I love her. I still love her.
I need to get you that shirt. Did you show?
I would wear it
Did you
all
see
the
the
time.
I saw it.
I would totes wear it all the time.
So the story behind this is
So
that
what happened was,
what had happened was, as she says,
what you could tell it. You're probably
Okay,
It's better
well,
from an outsider perspective.
we-
what the hell
we
I
were-
did.
fighting our first decent sized boss in Rise of the Rune Lords.
the end of the first book, for reference for anybody who is
Yes.
seeing this,
Did
or
you take your 4
We'll
free
see.
boosts?
No,
the boss at the end of the
I'm
first book.
still.
What are you still looking? What are you looking up now?
I'm confused on what totem I want. 'Cause
You
of
don't
that.
have to choose that right now, do you?
That's part of the class thing.
Yeah.
That's. Oh, I thought we were only supposed to do our ability scores, and then we went back.
I mean, technically,
And-
you can do all of the
Oh,
full column at a time.
because some of your stuff you don't know until you get your ability score.
Yes.
Not
Like
necessarily in this
HP.
case.
For the class, in the races, you don't know your HP until you finish off your ability scores to know
This
what
is
your
true.
con modifier is and stuff.
True.
So I generally find out the ability scores and then go back to each one of those and write down the rest of the information.
In any case,
In any case, back to the story I was telling. Sorry.
yeah.
Wow. Rabbit trails. That's what our group is all about. But so we're going up against the first boss of Rise of the Rune Lords that we can.
The fucking
And-
first boss. I fucking died within the first boss.
Yes, she did. Because
Holy
we're
shit,
in a
that was the
corridor.
first boss. That's fucking terrible.
and
This is her accent, by the way.
yes, that's her accent.
Fucking ridiculous.
So the boss backs up past, unbeknownst to us, a trap. And she wasn't quite, I guess, sure on how she should be hitting with a gun because it hits touch AC.
Even so, she was rolling abominably, and she still wasn't hitting her touch.
Really?
Yes.
Well, in any case,
Worked
I-
out. Worked out.
either way. And so she gets frustrated, pulls her sword, and is going to run head first into the boss.
No. I hit him with a flog that now magically has disappeared from my inventory because, I'm pretty sure I lost that when I died. I had a fucking flog.
Oh. I thought you had a sword that you pulled.
No. It was a flog.
A melee weapon. And was going to run head first into the boss. And there's a trap before the boss. And she was already decently low health. We're low level. And so the trap hit her twice. And then she fell into a pit trap. And that solidified her death. So the shirt says luck. What is it?
Some days you have it, and
some days you
fall
have
into
it,
a
yeah.
pit and die.
Some days you have it. Some days you fall into a pit trap and die.
Every single day I will wear that shirt.
That is perfect for her.
Yes.
But as far as your ancestry, you notate your hit points, your size, your speed,
Languages.
your languages, because you learn all the applicable languages it shows. And it also gives you your additional languages if your intelligence is 14 or higher.
Mm-hmm.
It'll also give you
Traits.
your ancestry feats.
Oh, right. Traits is just.
Yeah. Getting used to this usage of traits.
So in the first edition of Pathfinder, traits are things that you choose. So you have two skill, like feat things that are traits. And you choose them. Traits in second edition just mean something
They're
about.
descriptive.
Yeah, they're just descriptive.
About everything. Everything has traits. No, in this, what were traits in Pathfinder First Edition have been expanded out in a much cooler way in the backgrounds.
Okay, so we do get ancestry feat.
Yes, you
get
you get an ancestry feat if you go to your repeat page. It'll say ancestry feats, and there's a first level slot for that. And you go to the section for your ancestry, and the second page will be all the ancestry feats.
I thought I had written it down, but I guess I didn't.
And more or less, so whenever you're reading a in any case, whenever you're reading a feat
Mm-hmm.
entry, It'll say feat and then a number. That number is the level you have to be to take the feat.
So, which means, okay, get that now. You don't happen to remember which one I was going to take, do you? For my feet for my goblin bird?
For your ancestry?
Mm-hmm.
No, I didn't.
And those are the feats that we get like at level 1, 5, 9, 13, 17?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
I've already got that picked. Where do we write that on our sheet?
On your
On the second page.
second page,
I think
there
it's
on the
okay.
top right corner,
Aha.
there is a thing for your ancestry feat. The second page, 2/3 of it is for your feats.
I can write down the ones I've already picked out, right? As long as I can't use them until we get to them, right?
I would keep that as a note off to the side,
Okay.
and then only add them to your character sheet once you have them.
My first one is Mountain Roots. Makes him a little more sturdy when he gets slapped around.
And you're still choosing yours.
Thinking I'm going to do very sneaky.
That's a very
Yes.
sneaky thing to choose.
I'm probably going to have to start writing all this stuff down now.
I'm so torn.
Are you having trouble deciding your feet?
It's between acute vision and
For what?
for my barbarian feet.
The race, your
Are you
back.
doing your ancestry or your class feat?
I was doing my class feet, but I guess I do have to go back and do my other feet too.
The class feat comes in at level 2, right?
Depends on.
Oh,
your
the one
class.
that you get initially.
Mm-hmm.
Depends on your class because fighters get one at first level.
I get one at first.
Yeah, I was gonna say I'm pretty sure barbarian.
I think I get one.
I think everybody gets one at first level.
Probably.
That would be my Tempest Surge then, right? Because of that's what it said I get when I'm a storm.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you get one at first level.
That would be a class feat.
Yes.
And is that a feat or is it a spell?
I believe it's a feat.
And then also your background gives you a feat, which will be under your skill feats. The first slot you've got in skill feats
Right.
says background, and that's the feat.
That would be the dubious knowledge that I get.
Yeah.
Stormborn Druid feat.
So you've done your ancestry with your background. You note your boosts, what you would have done. You record the skill feat that your background provides. And then also you'll note in the skill section on your first page what lore you're trained in. And then you'll mark the box next to that lore, the T box.
Where was that at?
Your lore is on your first page with your skills there. There will be 2 boxes in the bottom of the first column because these are your skills right here.
Right.
So lore.
Aha, there it is.
So right beside one of them, because you get Dominion of the Black, you will just write in Dominion of the Black, and then you'll mark
The T.
T because you're trained in it.
So that spot where it's open is where you're supposed to put the modifier.
What do you mean? This what?
On the lower thing. By the D20 is where you're supposed to write your modifiers.
Yes.
Is that where you were saying to write it at?
No, right beside the word.
Oh. Okay.
Yeah, right beside the D20 is where
Saving
you'll end up
throws.
writing your end modifier.
Trained.
If you look around your sheet, you'll
Do
see
you
it.
need your lore
Hmm.
for your background?
Okay.
He's got it right there.
Right here. If you want to notate what lore you've got, you are a Pathfinder hopeful, so yours is Pathfinder Society lore. So on your on your first page, beside lore, you'll write down Pathfinder Society and mark that you're trained in it.
Alright.
So now we choose our skills. So wait, where is it? Oh, here we go. Ancestry feat. We got the background, first composition, initial use occult forecasting spell. Oh yeah, so I don't get a feat until 2nd level.
I was about to say, I
Word feat.
thought that some didn't.
Nope.
That'll probably be, well, no, because if the druid gets it first. I was going to say it's probably the casters, but maybe it's not. I don't know. But in any case, whenever you select your class, you write the class in the slot. There's a box right next to that says level. Put your level in.
Where was that?
At the top.
Yeah, the top
Oh.
little sector.
Level 1, right?
Yep, level 1. You've got your experience points. You know your ability scores from it. At this point in time, after you do your boosts from your class, sort of backtracking here some, you finalize your ability scores. Make sure that you've got those finalized and written down.
You get those finalized and written down. Your ability scores.
Kinda.
Okay, at this point in time, you've already more or less generated them, so you just have to apply your boosts.
And write it on your paper.
Okay.
I'll come around.
Thank you.
No problem. Okay, so
Okay. So I just added, well, hold on a minute. I didn't even take on my freedoms yet.
okay, so
That's something interesting.
Hmm.
I think they're still gonna have to fix that with the druid and the. I don't know what is it? Our alchemist.
Mm-hmm.
How many does? So yeah, he should have 3, but the druid
Mm-hmm.
shouldn't have gotten.
You get one depending on what
No,
class you get, or what.
I'm talking about signature skills.
Yeah,
Oh.
we'll get there. But yeah, that is an errata. That would be a point.
Yeah, well, what I was going to say is it says it's 2,
Mm-hmm.
but I'm going to point something out once I can get to the freaking druid page. Here we go. 1, 2, 3. That's that. Okay, yeah. So something I noticed is each class,
Mhm.
they get the same number of signature skills that they
Mhm.
have to their skills. So
Mhm.
if, like, I have 7 signature skills as a bard
Mhm.
that are in the list, I get 7 skills plus my modifier.
Mhm.
The alchemist, yes, should have gotten 3 because every class is like that.
Yeah.
Should have gotten 3, but the reason why the druid had 4 was because each order has 1 signature skill that it
Yeah.
adds, so they shouldn't have detracted from that.
But in your order thing, it should say to add that knowledge to your signature skills, not
So-
add it to your possible signature skills.
Let me find the orders you plan. See if it says that I'll read leaf. You plans. You are trained in diplomacy, and it becomes a signature skill for you. So it's taking this off of here, and you get 3, and then that's an extra 1 from
Yes. Yes.
your. Okay, so they're just rewording it.
Yes.
That makes me feel better, and that is a better clarification of the way
You know what they're doing. And also,
they know what they're doing, but we're playtesting this to make sure.
because
That's something that I don't know how. Go ahead.
as far as skills,
Mhm.
because the alchemist there, it says
It
2.
says 2. Yeah, I know.
They get 3.
Yeah.
And then they get.
Yeah,
Okay.
plus 1 from their. I understand that. I didn't know if in their errata how they wrote it.
Okay. So for your ability scores, you'll go through and note any boosts. So go ahead and set down your sheet. So you'll go through your. Let me see. So for halfling, you get to choose from dexterity or wisdom, and then a free.
So
All right. So what? So one there, and then what's your free one going to be?
okay, that makes a lot more sense to understand it now. Because it already trains you in it. Okay.
And then you got that flaw there, and then your background, you get a +2 to strength, and then another one to something else. So whatever that you want that free to be down there with your background.
Oh wait, did that make me trained?
Mm,
Okay. So
And then your barbarian gives you strength, and then you've got your 4 free ones right there.
okay.
So more or less what you want to do, write out the 6 ability scores.
Sorry.
That's fine. But yeah, just write them down, write 10 to each one, and then go back through, and each time you have a bonus, just write a plus next to it.
Okay.
So, so basically go one at a time. So put a plus next to dexterity and one next to wisdom. And then a minus next to strength. And then next to that will be another plus to strength or a plus to strength. And then a plus to dexterity. Then another plus to strength. And then all your bonuses right there. So a plus to charisma. Then a bonus to intelligence. Then one to constitution. And then one to dexterity. And then you add those up. More or less what you can do, because you don't, you can just, each of those bonuses will add one to your modifier.
Right.
And because you'll be at the even score, that makes that modifier. So that's two boosts and one minus.
Yes.
That would be 12 on your strength. Because your strength starts at 10.
That would be 12.
Something I would suggest is to change one of your free boosts to a strength boost.
Yeah. I'm thinking you're right, considering that I am a barbarian.
Yes.
So,
Yeah, I would say
I
either
was
the charisma
building.
or the intelligence.
yeah.
Okay. So that'll be an extra boost there. So that'll end up with strength being, should be a plus 2 modifier or a 14. Okay. And then your con, you've got one boost there. So your modifier will be plus 1 or a 12. And with wisdom, you don't have any. Oh, you got a boost from up here.
I did not.
So that'll be plus 1 or a 12 there. And then your dexterity, you've got 3 boosts there. Right, yes. So that's a plus 3 or a 16. And then your int, you've still got 1 there. And then your charisma, which you replaced the charisma 1 down here.
Yes.
So that's no boost. So it's at a 0 modifier or a 10.
Okay.
So now you can translate those onto your character sheet on the bottom left corner. Yeah. Yeah, the large one is for your modifier, and then the small little box to the side is your score. Backwards from how it's used to being done, but the modifier is what really matters.
Right. It makes more sense this way. But I like on the way out. Okay.
that. Because you have both, you have your ability scores and you've got your ancestry, it's important to go ahead and note your hit points. Because your ancestry as a halfling will give you hit points, which I can get you those really quick. That's 6 hit points for being a halfling. And then Barbarian is 12 plus your Constitution modifier.
Alright. So
So you
19. Beefy.
Yep.
Yes, you are.
You are a barbarian, so yeah. 2 plus 12, 14. 14 plus 6, that's 20.
That's 20.
You're at 20 hit points to begin with.
Jesus Christ.
Compare that to my fighter who has.
My goblin sword has 15.
Yeah. What's that? And then now you apply your class. So all the things that your class gives you, you start applying that. So right under where your hit points are, it says perception.
Mm-hmm.
Go ahead and fill in the box your wisdom modifier.
Okay.
Proficiency you are.
Yeah, you'll see that array of 4 boxes there. That's on like every skill and perception and a lot of things. That's your proficiency level. Mark the one that says E, that is expert. That'll be the second level.
Is that for everybody or just halflings?
It tells you in your class. Your class gives you your perception proficiency. So you'll mark the E.
I'm just trained.
For her.
Yes.
So, and then next to that, there's a box that says proficiency above it, prof.
Yes.
Because you're an expert, that'll be a 1.
Trained would be 0.
Or technically, it'll be 2.
So trained then is trained 1.
Yeah, because here's how proficiency works. It's your level plus your proficiency level. So you're all at first level, so that's 1. Trained is 0, or rather, I should say untrained is -2. Trained is 0. Expert is +1, master is +2, and legendary is +3. So if you've got that, you've got your wisdom, and then that proficiency, you add those together and write it in the little blank.
Okay, so I have my wisdom modifier and I'm trained, so I don't get anything added to that. So it's just going to be my wisdom modifier and that's
And
it.
your level.
Oh, and my level.
Because your proficiency is your level plus the proficiency modifier.
Okay. Well, that's really low perception.
What's yours?
4.
Mine's 2.
4 will actually be pretty good. So you've got a 16 in wisdom?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, I do.
Right. So, and then your saving throws will say how you're trained. For barbarian, you are an expert in fortitude.
Let's see. Oh, where saving throw? Oh, there it is.
You are trained in reflex. And you are an expert in will.
What is the Bardic Lore feat? Is that in
It should be
here?
under class feats then.
So it should be in here. Oh, okay.
Okay.
Here.
So then you'll go through and you'll fill out your saves. You fill in the ability scores that has next to it. So Constitution, Dexterity, and Wisdom, respectively.
And you said expert gives you +1, right?
Yes. 1 plus your level. You always add your class level to proficiencies. So more or less at 20th level, you always add 20. If it's an athletics check that your athletics proficiency that you're looking at, a wizard who is trained in athletics will have a baseline 20 to that check. This sort of lends itself to, if you want a bit of a beefier wizard, you can have a beefier wizard.
So what's that class DC next to my speed? What is that all about?
So with class DC, it says level and key. That's your level plus your key ability, which for druids is your wisdom. So you write down your level and your key ability modifier there. And that is the DC of any of your class abilities.
So anytime I do like a primal spell or something.
Your spells will be different.
Oh, okay.
That'll be on the third sheet, which is where all your spell stuff is.
Okay.
But if you've got, like, say, a special ability that trips somebody, the DC will be that. Hero points, go ahead and put 1 in there. You start with hero points. Let's see. In your armor class, just go ahead and write in your dexterity. For right now, we'll get to that with your equipment.
So whether you're trained expert, master, or legendary, where does that come from? Is that your equipment?
Class.
That'll be, basically if your
class will say what it is.
your proficiency with whatever is giving your AC. So at the top, on the next side of the
What
same
is your
sheet.
key?
Huh?
Your key.
My key? What? Oh, key ability?
No, you had explained it, but I missed it. Level plus key plus 10.
Key
and plus.
ability.
It's what your key ability modifier is.
For your
So, okay.
class. So for
for
bard,
mine,
that'd be
it's
charisma.
charisma.
Okay. But it'll say, as I was saying, at the top it says weapon proficiencies and armor proficiencies.
Yeah.
So on your class page, because it'll say proficiencies, it shows perception saving throws, and then weapons and armor. For a barbarian,
Yes.
you are trained in all simple and martial weapons.
When it says simple weapons, does that include simple ranged weapons or
Yes.
just okay?
Anything that is simple, ranged or melee. So you'll mark trained in simple and martial, and for armor, you are trained in light and medium. And then you'll skip over the next 2 boxes, your melee and ranged strikes, because we'll come back to that whenever you've got your equipment. Next is your skills. Previously, you would have a number of skill points to spend.
I have a question on that armor proficiency.
Yes,
Because I notice it only says shields on here,
yes.
but my thing says I'm trained in light and heavy shields, not made of metal. So
Okay. In which case, you would just go
just trained.
with shield, and you can either
I notated on top of it, not made of metal.
Yeah, notate not metal or not made of metal to the side. Or remember that you can't use any weapons or you cannot use any armor or shields made of metal. You can use weapons made out of metal.
Yes.
Which means for the first longest part of the game, you will be
Completely nude.
wearing leather. Later on, whenever you go to get, say, like a breastplate or something, you'll be able to do that if you pay extra and get it made out of dark wood.
Mm-hmm.
Just marching around wearing nothing but a cod piece made out of wood. Like,
If you would like. Yeah.
That's up to you. So with your
his little fat dwarven breasts flapping in the wind.
on your skills,
Okay.
after, so the way it's formatted is you've got your final modifier. The first little circle is your signature skill. That's basically like your class skills. So for you as a barbarian, you'll go through and you'll mark acrobatics, athletics, and intimidation.
Now I get
You gotta.
that one plus the one from my order, right?
Yes.
There's errata for that one. Because he's the druid.
Because I got 3 and then 1 from my order, which gives me acrobatics for some reason for a storm druid.
But right, it's the skill points that change.
Yeah.
So,
Okay.
but it makes sense
Yeah.
now because it
And
makes
then
it trained.
after you have that, you're trained in a certain number of skills. For a barbarian, it is 3 plus your intelligence modifier.
Where do you get that from? Like that?
Huh?
Where do you get that number from?
That number is in the same sidebar.
Oh, the wire. No.
Up
See.
top. On top of
Uh,
the skills.
skills.
Oh,
There's errata for this. You are actually 3 plus your intelligence modifier.
3 plus my intelligence
They
modifier.
bumped the druid down by 1 because you automatically get trained in the signature skill from your
Or your
Right.
your order, your druidic circle.
But these aren't signature skills. These are just trained skills that we get to
you can
choose.
put
right?
it in your signature
Yeah.
skills.
Yeah. So the signature skills mark what skills are more than likely going to be most important to you, and signature skills are the only ones that you can train up to be legendary, master or legendary.
Okay.
So you'll want to train those.
So I should. I mean, so the ones that you've got as a signature skill aren't automatically trained. You still
No.
have to.
Yeah, you still have to.
You still have to learn
You have
them.
to spend your training on them.
All right.
Also, as you
And you said it's going to be 3, right, instead of 4. 3 plus my
your
intelligence modifier, so 4.
And as you level up, you'll gain training and skills, which you can use to either gain training in other skills that you're not trained in, or to up the training level of a skill you are trained in by 1 proficiency level.
But we can't do that now. Like I can't add another one to my lore and bring it up to expert.
Correct.
Okay. that
You have to
makes-
wait until you get a skill increase. After you mark your proficiencies, you can go through and start figuring out the your skill modifiers. So did you choose your skills?
Yes.
So you mark down those, and you got 3 plus int. So a total of 3 skills trained.
Her
that you get to
int is 0.
choose right now. Yeah, her int modifier is. Oh, actually, no. Your int modifier is +1, so you get 4 trained skills.
Okay, and then for these ones, we just fill in what our modifier is on each of those.
Yeah.
Proficiency. Don't forget proficiencies.
Well, yeah, we'll get to that.
Okay.
So on each of your skills, you'll put in your skill model, your attribute modifier in each of those slots.
So is a board prepared or spontaneous?
Spontaneous, I believe. You have the
Mm.
book in front of you.
It was slightly rhetorical. I was moving my paper to read it.
Oh, okay.
Intimidation is based on my charisma modifier.
Do
My
what?
charisma modifier
Yeah.
is 0.
For right now, then that buff will be a 0.
So I get spell slots.
For Playtest
Wait, yeah.
sake, that's a little broken for the barbarian.
Huh?
That's a little broken for a barbarian.
Not being able to intimidate
Not
somebody.
being able to intimidate somebody. And it has to be based on charisma. But
Well,
naturally, if
well,
you're a barbarian,
In first
your
edition,
charisma-
intimidates based on charisma to begin
Yeah.
with.
That's true.
Yes.
Intimidate, deception, diplomacy. It's all charisma. It's just barbarians had there was a feat or something that they could trade or some rage power. Maybe I don't remember.
It's a feat.
Oh, it's a feat.
Intimidating prowess.
Yeah, that makes it where you can use your strength instead of your charisma.
Yeah.
So,
So-
should I notate somewhere that for weapons, it's all simple weapons and the scimitar because they kind of make a note of that?
What I would do here then is mark trained.
And write scimitar there.
Yeah. So
I
just continue going
something
through
very
and
confusing.
doing all of your modifiers because your int is +1.
So you learn one. Oh, here it is. So casting you the bird cast possible activity, and you get a bird. You can usually put an instrument as bird or material casting. This is slightly confusing. Okay, occult spellcasting. You have the power to cast occult spells using the cast a spell activity, and you gain the access to the material casting, semantic casting, verbal casting actions.
Mhm.
Is your bard. You can usually play an instrument as part of your material and semantic castings, so you don't usually need spell components or another free hand. You usually also play an instrument for your verbal casting actions rather than speaking. Each day you can cast up to 2 first level spells. The number of spells you can cast each day are called your spell slots. You must know spells to cast them, and you learn them via the spell repertoire class feature. As you increase in level as a bard, your number of spells per day and the highest level spells you can cast from spell slots as shown in the bard spells per day. Some of your spells require you to attempt to spell DC. None of that tells me if I'm spontaneous or prepared.
Okay, well, it didn't say that you have to prepare them beforehand. It says you have to know them beforehand. You're spontaneous.
Okay.
So next, you'll go through and you'll fill in your proficiencies. So any of them you're trained on will be 0 plus your level. So it'll be 1. For the next one, Arcana, your proficiency will be your level -2. So that's a -1 right now. And then the next one is trained.
Yes.
So that is
And you said untrained is minus.
-2. Your level -2. So like for yours,
Like, let's say for acrobatics.
so you're not trained in it.
Right.
So your proficiency will be your level -2.
And even though the dex is there.
Yeah, you'll add that later on. but your proficiency box right there
Right.
will be a -1. And then whenever you get ready to calculate it here in a second, you'll take your proficiency plus your dex and then put your
Okay.
final modifier there.
So this one, so if it's all going to be -1 if I'm not trained.
It'll be -1 in everything except for what you're trained in.
And it will just be 0 for the ones that I am.
Your one
trained
that you are trained in will be 1 because it's 0 plus your level.
in. Okay.
For anything with proficiencies, you always add your level. So you'll get a little bit better at everything every time you level. Just as a basic to show your sort of esoteric like knowledge and abilities growing, just being an adventurer
Right.
and doing various things. So now that you've done those, you can go back and you add or subtract your proficiency from the modifier.
Okay, so. So
Your int is a +1.
Oh, yes.
You are somewhat intelligent, barbarian.
Okay. So, where would I put
Your
the
final
end?
bonus
Yes.
goes in that one.
In that one. So. Okay.
Which technically you had that right though,
Oh,
because your dex is +3,
that's true.
and then you're trained, so that's a +1, so 4.
So signature abilities just don't really add anything to your score. They're
They
just
don't.
important to your character, more than likely.
What's
and-
important that, and later on, whenever you get skill increases, you can increase signature skills to master or legendary.
Okay.
You in skills that aren't signature, they can only usually go up
The
to
expert.
expert.
So proficiency, if you're trained in it, is 2.
+1.
It's +1.
Oh, actually, no. 0 plus your level. Sorry. Trained is 0 plus your level.
Okay.
Expert is +1.
Okay.
Okay. There we go.
So, and
Okay.
untrained is -2 plus your level, so -1.
First level, it'll be -1.
What are prepared spells? I don't know.
Okay, so. So +1 and -1
Will be 0. We'll do the same thing for your Arcana up there.
Yep. I'll skip that one for some reason.
Deception is going to be a -1.
He's a -1.
You just go through and
So it's
Yeah,
either
you'll have
right now
various
it's either a
things.
+1 or a -1.
for the most part, that's how it'll be. And don't feel bad having negatives to your skills. Currently, my fighter, because he is, what is he wearing? He is wearing a breastplate, the fighter that I generated. He gets, his armor check penalty is -4. So his acrobatics and athletics modifiers are -3.
Am I going to have to change that with what armor I choose, or
Yeah, acrobatics and athletics you'll have to change once you get your armor.
I'm already -1 on athletics?
Yeah.
+1 on acrobatics, though.
Depending on what armor you choose. If you choose lighter armor that doesn't really have a check penalty, you won't have to worry about that.
Thanks to my wisdom modifier, I do have some +4s though, so I'm happy about that.
Mm-hmm.
Medicine, nature, and survival. I'm pretty all right.
Medicine, nature, and survival. I'm definitely not over it. I have -1. But deception, diplomacy, and intimidation, I'm pretty good at.
Once
All
you-
3 of those I had 0.
Once you go through and you mark all those.
Oh, and performance.
Then that is all for the first sheet or the first page of your class.
We don't have to worry about melee strikes and range strikes yet.
Those you'll do once you get your equipment.
Okay, after we're equipped.
One more thing that you get,
Yes.
where it should say actions and activities at the very bottom of the
Yes.
page.
Yes.
You get rage, which
What is curious as to the traits? Is that when it comes to spells or reactions? Is that verbal and semantic? Where it's in the reactions of reactions?
no.
Because I didn't see anything that specifically said trait in like the spell reaction that I have.
You've got a spell reaction.
Composition power, counter performance.
What is that?
The counter performance.
No, like what is reactions and where would I find that if I had one?
If you have one, it's in part of your class.
I'm trying to.
The druid doesn't
I'm
have
trying to
any.
look yours up,
Yeah.
but I don't know what it is.
It's on 212 for that one specifically.
212.
Yeah,
Is it a spell then?
it's a spell, but it's a power.
Okay.
Just like the other thing, the domain stuff. Powers are in with the spells.
Descriptions. So,
Counter performance. It says verbal casting, semantic casting, trigger area. Just, in the little block thing, it says composition, enchantment, fortune, mental, and power.
those are the traits.
Jesus Christ.
Which
5
is-
of them? Do I have to write them down?
You'll
there-
want to at least abbreviate them.
Okay.
So,
Composition, enchantment,
um,
fortune. I don't know why I need to know these
may I
things.
borrow the book for just a little bit once you get done notating that? Because I want to show you guys a little something about notation.
Oh, well, actually, I can leave that up for you. Because what you're going to show them is.
Where would
On
I
that
put this
page,
wild
there's-
empathy thing?
That's not what I'm going to do.
Oh.
Huh?
Where would I put this wild empathy thing?
That will be in class feats and features.
Wild empathy?
So, I'll show you is whenever you are looking at abilities and feats, if they are like active things you can do, it'll have a little icon next to it.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, this is in skills, but to trip somebody, it's got that, which shows that is an action. So that one is an action. If it takes multiple actions, it'll have an extra little chica by it, up to 3 of them. And then you get reactions, and the empty one is free actions. Just a way to notate them. So your rage is an action to activate.
Oh, there's a spot over here for powers.
You can have that back. All right. And now you have to choose your totem.
I think I got it, man. I thought I had it. I'm torn again.
What are you
No.
torn between?
I think I got it. Copper dragon totem.
Okay. So, just to let you know, Copper Dragon, which will give you, once you get your breath weapon, a line of acid. your totem has an anathema. Basically, if you break anathema, you lose powers.
So if anyone like just straight disses a copper dragon or something, from what I
it
gather.
depends what
Yeah.
it says.
Anathema for you is defying a dragon of your chosen type or letting a personal insult against you slide is anathema. To your
So if
totem.
someone this is you.
Me personally.
You have to do something about it.
Yes. I'm gonna get y'all in a lot of trouble. So, define doing something about it, though.
That is flexible in the look mean.
Okay. Okay.
And technically, it could also be up to your character as what's appropriate. Just because somebody slights you doesn't mean that you have to murder them every time.
Yes.
It might be making a quip back. It might be a non-lethal strike. It might be,
Eating their liver.
or just a threat. Don't always have to eat
Right.
liver.
Of eating my liver.
Just the tip.
At which point in time you get your Okay, so with the dragon totem, under class abilities is where you'll put this on your second sheet. Class feats and abilities, I should say. Or feats and features,
Features. Okay. So
Features.
I'll put
which is why you've got 4 slots for first.
right.
So, one of those will be, make sure I'm not going to run out of space because you get feet. And sure. Okay. So yeah, you'll get your anathema, you'll get draconic rage, which for you takes your weapon's damage type and it switches it to your dragon's your dragon breath weapon type. So for you, it will be acid, and it ups the damage by 1. And then you gain raging resistance. No, you don't gain raging resistance yet. That's at 9th level.
Question.
Uh-huh.
Going to my whole spell thing. Is spell repertoire, is that meaning your spells known, basically?
Huh? Yeah.
Since they just change it from spells known to spell repertoire?
Yeah.
Okay. I was thinking it's like some other new pool thing. I'm trying.
So,
okay. I'm good
at
now.
which point in time you can choose your barbarian feat.
Okay.
Which you'll go to the page, it says barbarian feats, and you choose from the first level feats.
Yeah, I can cast 2. Okay. Okay, that makes it so much easier.
So now that I understand the
So,
Mhm.
like, moment of clarity and sudden charge both take 2 actions. Yes, both take 2 actions.
Alright.
Though, like some of them are discounts. So, sudden charge allows you to stride up to double your speed, and if you're within melee reach of an enemy, you can make a strike. So it'll let you move up to twice your speed, and then on top of that, still make a strike. Has 2 actions as opposed to 3. So it knocks off 1 action of what that normally would be.
Right.
Which also reminds me, did you notate your race's speed? It is on the first page right under your languages.
So I've got a question regarding how spells work for this druid
I did
person,
not.
because it's completely different than, you know,
Mhm.
how my cultist works here.
Yes.
So it says,
Your occultist is a special case
yeah.
in the first place.
So I could get 2 first level spells and 4 cantrips I can prepare each day. Now, does that mean I could select any spell from their spell book every day?
Yes.
Or just I know specific ones?
So because you prepare all your spells every day, whenever you go to prepare your spells, being a druid, you've got access to all of the common druid spells.
So do I have to literally write all these spells down here?
You don't have to whenever you go to prepare. So right now, I would just go through the druid spell list and pick ones that you want to prepare.
That you like, that you'll
Right
want to. Because in there's a circle that says prep.
Right.
That's where you can mark that you prepared it that day.
Yeah.
So I don't need to write down every single
No.
one of these spells and
I would not.
cantrips
Like
that
if you don't think that you'll ever use it, kind of thing. I wrote down all the cantrips because there's not that many, and I just use 2 spots at the bottom. I also have a page printed that I can give you later, and someone else might make a better one, but that is I cut the middle section here, and put 3 of them in a row and have just a spell page.
Yeah. So that you can make a spell list and write down which ones are prepared. Later on, eventually there will be spell card. Somebody gets to that, which will probably
See, I got a
be after
ton
the
of cantrips.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For
Drew, I got
You
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15 in my spell book of cantrips.
Yeah. 15 druid cantrips.
Take a screenshot.
Natural. Yeah. Nature.
yes,
And,
Green.
primal. Yeah,
Yeah.
acid splash through Tanglefoot.
Yeah. So I get a whole.
Yeah,
bingo.
there's in the cantrip spot. There's 13 spaces.
So I'm gonna have to just ignore 2 of those.
You can do that, or you can write it at the bottom. That's what I did on my druid that I made. Is I just wrote the 2 at the bottom.
and I can move 25 feet.
25.
I'm trying to say
Why can you move faster than me
because she's a
little-
halfling.
with your little hobbit legs?
So that's your that's your
I can't decide on my
halfling.
last one.
That's your
What do you-
halfling speed.
Yes.
Your last one, what?
My last cantrip, I only get 4.
You could prepare 4 a day, right?
No, I'm known. So, or rep